that on again. Alright, so hopefully you guys can hear me a little bit better with this one. So these are a couple of builds that I'm going to be going over so far on this channel. The first one we got is going to be a turbo Foxbody. So this one is for my older brother. He bought a second Foxbody because the first one just got into some damage and stuff. So right now he shipped them both down here from Seattle for me to build down here in California. So right now the first one is over at the exhaust shop where they're doing the crossover tubes and his exhaust. When we had it up there, whoever put it together, it wasn't pretty. The exhaust welds look nasty. It used crushed piping. So we're going to do a real 3-inch to his twin 2.5-inch. So it's just like a little section, and then we're going to add a catalytic converter. Granted, he did buy another house out in Texas where this car is going to be going to, but I told him for the most part, cats don't rob too much power if you get a high flow cat, so that's what we're installing. His second one is currently at the paint shop, and they're painting it a custom blue. So he just ordered another rear bumper because for some reason he misplaced his rear bumper. I need to take the hood off the one that's at the exhaust shop. Once that's done with that, and take that over to the body shop because that's a new hood that he got. And then there's a couple things. Whoever installed, he has a HolleyEFI system on the Mustang to control everything, and half of it's not even connected. So literally all they connected was injectors and ignition. Pretty much everything else is just sitting there. There's the knock sensor, which these ones don't have a knock sensor built into them, which was surprising to me. So we're gonna drill a port on the back of the head where the F-150s, I believe, had a knock sensor. So we're gonna add a knock sensor to his engine. We're gonna install fuel and pressure sensors, fuel pressure and oil pressure sensors, so the computer can have a little bit of more safety in it. He did upgrade. He had bare brakes on his old car, the blue one, but he did order some Willwoods. So all that stuff in the bin right here, that's all his stuff for this Mustang. So he ordered a couple just new front and rear brakes. So that's what we're going to be installing on that. He also, his front cross member and rear subframe on the one that we're not going to be using, but use it as mock-up. It's really nice. So we're going to be transferring over all his suspension and coilovers and all that stuff. So that one, I'll probably throw some pictures of that in this video. But this Memorial Day weekend, I think today is the 24th, May 24th. So tomorrow or Tuesday, I'll probably go to the paint shop, see where they're at. That's the black one. That's going to be getting painted a blue again. Next one we got is Track 300ZX. It's going to be a slick top single turbo. We have a short blocker. We have quite a few parts. It's just extra parts we had laying around. So my friend decided he wanted to build another car. Already built them one before. He has two wide body 300ZXs, one red, one black. So now he wants just a track only car. Initially those were going to be his track only cars, but the paint's too nice. So he realized he doesn't want to mess it up. So he had an extra set of coilovers. He has an extra brake kit. He has a short block that's already built with some CP pistons. He doesn't have any heads, so I found a motor up on OfferUp that I'm going to go pick up probably today that has some of the things that we're going to need. We've been doing some research. We were going to go with some top feed injectors, but he's trying to do this on a cheap. Spending more than like 15 grand on this build. So we are going to go with some AUS injectors. We did some research. They seem to be good. So we're going to run with those. Need a gasket kit. He has an upgraded oil pan kit that we're going to use. We're going to get a wind ditch scraper kit to add before we put on the oil pan that we'll be getting from EP Racing. Turbo, we already got a turbo. We got a Borg Warner SX300 turbo, custom manifold. Again, I'll kind of take you guys through that. Oil cooler. We're going to order up a Haltech. He already has an extra EFR harness from Wire and Specialties. He already has an extra 120K timing kit. He has a lot of extra parts that he just had extra just because they were on sale, so he started buying stuff. Next, let's see, let's go over here. This is my little brother's car, so he has a slick top as well. He wants to put a 2JZ. He's already got the block. It's over at our builder, Wakita shop. The heads are over there too. Wakita's going to rebuild the entire motor. The motor mounts are here. Can't remember what motor mounts he got. I don't think he has a fuel rail. I know he doesn't have injectors. Not sure what filter he's going to go with right now. He's trying to figure out what ECU he's going to use. So he's kind of torn between a couple, like ECU Master, maybe Adaptronic. I run Adaptronic in my vehicles, a couple of my vehicles. So he's kind of figure out what he wants to do. Before I put it all together or even start doing anything, there we go. I'm going to paint his engine bay. So I've done pretty good at painting engine bays before I put engines in, so that's probably what I'll do on his car. Next we have my 240Z, which you guys will see some videos of that. That one's just about done. There's a couple little vacuum leaks that we had to fix due to the custom manifold, so we got that fixed up. I need to bleed the brakes. I just installed it, custom brakes. So there's Evo Brimbos on the front. Can't remember which rotor I used. And then there's install the AC system, wire up the headlights to the relay, flush the coolant, and then I'm going to take it to paint. So the first thing I'll probably do is bleed the brakes, and then we're going to do a dyno tune. Also we'll flush the coolant system. So bleed the brakes, flush the coolant, and do a dyno tune. Right now that car's at Wakita shop, where he did some pinholes that were in the intake manifold, really small one. So we got that done. Next is the RX-7. That one, the engine's already been built. Side cut of the rotors, 3mm apex seals. I think it's a stud kit from Turblone. We got Turblone's exhaust manifold, the shorter one. We got a BorgWarner SXE 362 on there. So right now I'm wiring up this Haltech. Let's see. Can you see my hand? So it's this rolled out. Plug and play harness that they included with their ECU. I got the 1500, and it's definitely not plug and play. They give you a bag of clips, connectors that you need to wire in, and then also it doesn't even connect to your transmission. So I had to order some extra parts from HolleyEFI just so I can build a second harness that can control the transmission, so my odometer and things like that, all my backup lights, all that stuff will actually work. Then after that, I'll get the coolant all put in, send it over to the exhaust shop, to DMC Exhaust Works, not too far from my house, and have him do the exhaust, the downpipe, and the intercooler piping. And then from there, the car should be starting. Last but not least, we got, let's turn this around. We got my wide body 300ZX. So we're going to do paint. I'll send that to paint this week, maybe next week. After it gets back from paint, I'm going to pull the engine, put the billet caps, or send it out so they can machine it for billet caps. Do some brakes, have an extra set of Brembo brakes, and then a Royalty Performance rear rotors. And that's pretty much it. Alright, welcome to my new channel. My name is Kendrick, and this is one of the projects that I got going on. This is my 92 Nissan 300ZX. Chassis code is a Z32. It's a twin turbo that's been put into a slick top. It has twin comp turbo 6062s, some custom ground cams that I will be swapping out, some BDE gears. I'll kind of be going through this build as well as about 4 other ones that I'm currently building. This one I'll be heading to the paint shop because I did add a metal wide body. For those that know, that is not a factory quarter panel. So a little bit about this car. Started before I had kids. Now my kids are 4 and 5. So just need to get this finished up. Got a couple things I still need to finish up. Gonna be pulling this motor out again Not because anything's wrong with it, just because I'm looking to add another part, which is stay tuned. It's to put the power to the ground, so stay tuned, and we'll talk more about that one. And then over to this other build I got going on. This is another one of my cars that we'll get to as well. This one's a little bit more that I'll be focused on. It's I think it's a 93. Put this up. 93 RX-7. Done some stuff to it. Got a turbine manifold. Went with a BorgWarner 362. Has a Haltech 1500 because I will be doing a drive-by-wire. So got the schematics right here, and the drive-by-wire. Drive-by-wire. And this schematics for the wiring, where everything kind of goes. Haltech purchased this harness. I'm gonna have to repin, cut all this because this is a universal harness, and for me to put this in my car will be extremely tacky for me just to plug everything with how long these are. Right. This is the injector harness. My injectors are way over there, and this harness is way over there. So I'm going to be shortening up a lot of things. Started kind of zip tying where I'm going to have things kind of put. This is a water temp, I believe. Fuel pressure. So my fuel pressure, all that stuff will be there. Got to get a bracket for those ignition coils. But this is that build. And stay tuned. We'll talk more about this one. On the way to go look at the other car. One of the other projects, so we're on the freeway here to go visit my special friend over